So these next two servants are going to be low stars, so these videos are only going to be so long. So both Izo and Hosuin got really good buffs this year for them. Hosuin a little more contentious, but Izo, his buff does work with his kit. Now, is it the best kind of buff? No, but it was on such a short cooldown, they really couldn't do much about it. Yeah, like when their base cooldown is 3, you're not getting any 3-turn buffs. That's just how it is. So we're not gonna care too much about base attack and HP because it's a 3-star. It's just gonna be lower than most other characters you have, even at level 120. MP charge is healthy though at 0.79%, and star gen is at 25%. Hit counts are fairly good across the board. Especially with that 0.8% gain, it makes these quick cards have like fairly good gain. And like arts cards, it is what it is. This is like what was standard in year 1, but at the very least, you're supposed to be critting on these, whereas in year 1 you weren't. They were balanced around the fact you probably aren't critting, while Izo's gains are definitely around the fact that he would crit. 5-hit extra attack is very nice with an assassin with like this much high base stats. Obviously the damage isn't going to be amazing, but from what I remember, even among 3-stars, his base attack isn't that high, that low, sorry. At level 100, he looks stat wise like a 4-star, so just take that as you will. First skill, 100% power mod against humanoid enemies for 1 turn, and then 30% crit damage for 1 turn. The humanoid trait is massive. This makes him like a viable DPS for most servants in the game. These are the only 7 in the game that do not have humanoid. Humanoid is just human shaped. Is basically human sized, human shaped. And mostly those two together. Yeah, not all BBs have this. BB Divide does it still has humanoid. It's mostly because BB Summer is outer god-ish. Don't expect me to explain the others right now. Good. TLDR, humanoid is the trait you want for servants. If you're fighting servants, you want a humanoid. Second skill, full turn dodge and 32% crit damage. Eye of the Mind False has been a skill that's been buffed in the past, so we might see this getting buffed up to 50%. And then he just has a lot of consistent crit damage. Third skill is what got buffed. Before it was just a star weight, and that was it on a 3-turn cooldown for 1 turn uptime. Buff. They just gave it an arts buff, but more importantly, they gave 15 stars. Honestly, this is what I care about more than the arts buff, because the arts buff is whatever. You critting or you not critting on his cards matters far more than a card buff of only 20%, when if you use him with Cast Story, he's going to have another 50, a bare minimum. Unless he's not the one getting the arts buff and you're doing multi-core, in which case you're doing something different. That's not what we're talking about here. So, this helps his really good gains. His chance of critting gets a lot higher. If you're not clicking his quick cards, your star gen might be suspect, so this just makes things flow so much better. Especially because the chance of you using Ruler Scotty with him, not very high. Yeah, good buff for him. Low uptime, but very low cooldown. Any kind of cooldown reduction just makes this better. Appends, he is a 3-star. However, he is a limited 3-star. So depending on what banners you're on, might determine how many appends you actually have. But mana loading, yeah, no, honestly, because you can swap appends, the ones I see the most value on are mana loading, extra attack, because he's crit, you might be doing full you might be doing like a full brave chain. This would just make it better. And then cooldown reduction. This is a big one. If your Izos are MP5, I would try to make sure you have at least 2 appends unlocked, because this turns into a 2-turn cooldown. So any cooldown reduction you have either makes it you double pop on turn 1, or you back-to-back pop on turn 1 and 2. And that is with any kind of cooldown reduction. All right, MP buff. This happened a while ago. Before, it didn't have a super effective. Now it has a super effective against man attribute. This is a power mod. This is super effective. They multiply into each other, and as you saw here, are any of these servants man attribute? I highly doubt any of them are man. Kashin Koji is the only one, and Kashin Koji's Earth, not man. Ain't no way Ibuki would be Earth. The only possible, I mean, man, the only possible ones are like these 3. And BB, again, Earth, makes sense considering who she absorbed in that. Longina, Sky, yeah. So essentially, if you're fighting man attribute servants, you are going to get the humanoid buff to multiply into each other, and you just do like so much fucking damage. OC is also star gen up for 3 turns, so it makes it so even his like MP and his art scripts will gen stars. So his quick cards are gonna gen so much fucking stars. You only need like 1 of them to like really get the stars you need to crit the next turn. So really, this buff was all about getting the engine going for Izo, and I'm 100% fine with that. Like they give him some of the best costumes as a 3-star. It's time he got these skill buffs. Bond CE 10% arts and 15% crit damage while he's on the field. So very weak Bond CE. Not something you would make him a grand servant just for, but hey, if you use him, he does stuff better. So this is a low star, but he's limited, so I can't say whether or not you should be summoning for him. That really depends on you. I think he's like very useful as a 1-star. I mean, not 1-star, 3-star. Like he puts out like fairly good damage for his archetype, and he does punch above his weight class. He definitely, if everything lines up for him, which isn't that hard, literally you bring him to fight you can bring him to fight every single man attribute enemy besides like casters, and he would like pop off. Especially man attribute riders, like they're dead. They are absolutely dead. No contest. But yeah, that's Izo. Time to talk about Hozuin now. Peace.
Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.